Alright guys, what you are going to watch is the reverse birth of a Bugs 3 on a carbon fiber frame. I'm going to show you end result, middle result, and then beginning result to building. The reason that I'm doing this is I don't know. I have tons of footage, 3 days. It's taken me 3 days to get this right, and I think I finally have it right. Just went for an FPV fly with it. It was epic.
Oh yeah! Look at my feet. Oh yeah! I can dance. Oh yeah! Yeah!
Did a little side yard. You're gonna see everything, so I really urge you to stick with the video. It's gonna be a long video. There's gonna be a lot of footage, but I'm going to show you what you want versus what you don't want and what might be acceptable, and just really staged in there. I will go over weight too. We got it right around 250 grams. Right around 250 grams. I know a lot of people were asking me if I could do it. I just about have it there.
Alright guys, so I got this stripped down. We don't have an external battery on it. We don't have a transmitter on it. We have an AKK AIO, which is wired directly into the board there. We're sitting right around 250 grams. Now this ain't a digital scale. We could be under, we could be slightly over. But there you go, 250 grams. That AIO I think is going to work much better than the transmitter we had on here. And this is what we took off. We took off this board. We took off those two, we took this camera off, we've lost about 50 grams. And just to show you what a normal Bugs would weigh, we have a F100 here, has a transmitter on it, has a camera in it, and we are over 300 grams. So we're considerably lighter. Before, with all that stuff on, we were around the same weight, if not almost identical weight with all that stuff on it. But now we're about 50 grams, well, we're more than 50 grams lighter than stock Bugs, with the FPV camera and transmitter in it, because we do have a little run cam style camera and a small transmitter on top of it. So we're gonna have to go out and give this another run here soon.
We're coming in right around 250 grams. I did just have the arm and the top board, but I added the bottom board because I took it out without that bottom board on it and took up, and it was too much power, and I guess it needed that extra weight, or maybe it needed that board on there to distribute some of the vibrations, to kind of like spread them out evenly. I don't know, but putting that bottom board on it allowed it to not shake when we go up. And we'll just give you a little test fly in the backyard here. I mean, this thing might be better than the original Bugs now. It definitely weighs less than the original Bugs. As far as power goes, we definitely got power, we got punchability on this. And I have a AKK 200, I think it's 250 milliwatt AKK AIO on this. I think off the top of my head, or a 200, it's a 200 milliwatt. And that's, I have it pitched. You can see the front here, it is pitched, so we can actually go fly a little bit with it. It's pitched upwards a little bit. I do have double-sided tape underneath it and kind of have it sitting in that groove, so it is pitched, but then I have a zip tie also going around it to hold it. So we're going to do a little FPV run on this. This hopefully is the last time I modify this. 3 days of modifications. You can see I have like a little wooden dowel sticking through one of my zip ties, and I have the drone's antenna sticking up as opposed to against the body. Here we go. So again, this is end result. Please stick with me through this entire video, because if you don't watch this entire video, you might not get to this end result. You might get to the beginning result, which I started with. Now the Fat Shark's DVR is just not great, but ideally it's meant for, I mean, it came through. What I seen in the goggles was amazing. The DVR recording is not great at all. It kind of dims it down and makes it a little bit gray and whatnot, but they mean for you to have an action camera or a 1080p camera, so I understand that. I'm not dogging Fat Shark too much here. But what I originally got was Jello Monster. I definitely got Jello Monster on my first try, and I had an external transmitter. I had a run cam type camera on it, and a better setup per se. This we're just using a 200 milliwatt AIO AKK, and as you can see, we're getting a little bit of snow there. I think I need to adjust my antenna. We will go further though. We will go further, and I will further explain my antenna here. And it could also be the antennas that I'm using on my Fat Sharks, but I don't think that's the case.
The RLTG01 that I used for the longest, it was plug and play. You just plug it into any Android device basically, and that got pretty vivid color. It didn't keep the detail, like we got pretty good detail here, but it didn't. It got really vivid color, as to where you see this is kind of dull, kind of washed out. So this is great. This end result is great, and again, that's why I kind of wanted to show you backwards, show you what you can get. But I really encourage you to watch the entire video, because I'm going to show you the mid-level. I'm going to show you the midway point to getting to this, and then before that or after that, we'll show you the first trial, the very first trial, and why you don't want that. And then at the end of the video, I will show you the complete build. I'll show you how to build it frame up from bugs guts to frame. So out here, what you'll notice is once we get to that second abyss, which the rock landslide over there is the second abyss. It's a pretty aggressive abyss. You don't want to go down there. I've been down there. I did not think I was getting out. I got down there pretty easy, and then the way I decided to come up wasn't easy. So you notice we're starting to get snow, but as I kind of yaw to the left and pitch to the left, the antenna is in a better position with my fat sharks, and we get less snow. So we're going to go out further than what we did originally here, just to show you a little bit of range, and we get really fuzzy, and we just adjust to the left a little bit, getting more fuzzy, adjust to the left. It's super clear. We're still at the same distance, but we've just changed the orientation of the camera. Now facing ourselves, we should get very little, next to no snow, because that's where the antenna is. So stick with me, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this. This was 3 days long of me testing and tinkering. I always had thought of putting bugs on a carbon fiber frame and just never did it, and we finally got around to doing it.
Different from when I first started. I had dope lime green see-through props on it, tri-blades. I tried chopping some Bugs 3 props.
Used regular Bugs 3 props to snip them, because they were like, the regular ones are good left to right, but coming towards the middle, even with these snipped, they're pretty darn close. It did improve the lift, but it was all wobbly, because clearly these aren't done to precision or anything. But we need a better propeller for these, or maybe somehow move these arms back just a little bit, and regular Bugs 3 props will probably work, because I know the Bugs 3 motors and the SCs and the board itself can handle weight. So it's not a weight problem, it's a propeller problem.
TG035 seems to be the perfect fit for this drone. We get enough punch upwards where we were lacking, and I've watched a lot of videos on guys who have done this conversion, and most of them don't say nothing. They're just like, yeah, it flies all right, it flies all right. Not stating that your lift is decreased greatly. So that top board that was up top here that had the same color metal going up to it, the top board that I had the unicorn horn, which was our FPV sticking out of, is now underneath it. We now have that underneath it. You can see my unicorn horn is now our tail, and our transmitter is sandwiched in there, and all we have to do to connect that is that JST to the snipped lossy connection, that red JST connection to the lossy connection sticked out there. And again, I've not done any weight reduction. Everything that was on it prior is on it now. I have the battery on it. So let's just throw this up. Let's throw it up just to show you guys I'm not blowing smoke. No smoke and mirrors here. Go ahead and fire the motors. Bam. Let it go down a little bit too far that time, but you can play yo-yo with it, as opposed to before when there was no yo-yo. You tried to yo-yo with it and do a little recovery time, it didn't have any. And punch, we'll try to show you a little bit of punch. I gotta cut this grass tonight, I'm not too thrilled about that. 3, 2, 1. We actually go up. We actually have some type of punch. So it has lost a little bit of punch, but we've probably also gained a little bit more weight. I'm using a 3000 milliamp hour battery. I have a 600 milliamp hour battery on there. We have FPV set up on it. I don't know that the carbon fiber frame weighs less than the stock, but this is flying nice now. Now we can actually fly it and not have to worry about dive bombing into the ground. So it's flyable now. Before it was chill flyable. Before, the only thing it would have been good for is a mild GPS run. Not GPS run, excuse me. Mild FPV run, long range FPV run. I have a 600 milliwatt on this, and the 600 milliwatt transmitter, the antenna sticking out of the back, the little mount in the front, bam, that little mount right there, and the camera all came in a package. It was all one package. I've had it sitting around. I didn't know what I was going to throw it on, so this was actually perfect for that. I'm going to try to bring it back here and do something you shouldn't do unless you're pretty confident about doing it. Doing a little grab and killing the motors, and there you go. So that's the way this has to be done. These props don't have any markings on them. They're just CG035 props. I had them. They fit the motors, and it worked. Like, I've tried a couple different sets of props on this, and it didn't work. So this definitely worked.
Now, the midway point setup that I just showed you, with the CG035 props on it, this is it in FPV, as I told you in the beginning, with the nice FPV footage, non-Jello FPV footage. We get a lot of Jello, and I think that's a tribute to the mount. The mount is kind of what I'm going to call a hover mount, where you have a base mount, and then you got the little ring that goes around the camera's eye, kind of making the camera hover. I think that's what's giving us a little bit of Jello here. The clarity is a little bit better from that camera than the AIO AKK. As far as colors, we got a little bit more vivid colors here, but we're definitely getting a lot of Jello here. But maybe you want to work with this. Maybe that's all you got. Maybe you ain't got an AIO AKK. This is definitely acceptable to me. This is definitely acceptable flight for this drone. Again, this weighs I'm gonna say about 75 more grams than the first best result, which was the first video, which were at about 250 grams. And again, these weights are without battery. Clearly, with the battery, we're gonna jump up a considerable amount. I'm using an POW 3000 milliamp an hour battery, 7.4 volt, and bamzo, my antenna's in the back as opposed to the unicorn antenna, which you'll see in the last clip, which you also seen with that picture that I piped in with the lime green props on it. That's the whole reason why I initially had that, and in the first part of the video, that's why we get really good reception coming towards us, because the antenna's on the nose, and coming back I think is vital to have great FPV reception. So this video is going to end here soon, and then we're going to show you the beginning. We're going to show you beginning and go from there, and then we'll show you the build. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. But we're going to crash here. I'm going to, a little spoiler alert, we're going to crash here, and everything out here is really high brush. The beeper that I have on this, which you'll see a little bit more in depth with the build part of it, and that I'll link at some point during this video, because I have a video just for that beeper on the MJX drones. It was vital to me finding this drone. Without the beeper, I probably would have been searching. I probably would have found it. I'm pretty good at finding drones without beepers, but it just makes it that much easier to have just a beeping sound, like really loud, to key in on, as opposed to that's where I last saw it, or in my FPV DVR, that's where I think I saw it, and then it makes it really simple to find. Bam, we are down. I found it pretty quickly after this.
What? Yes, this is a Bugs 3. I don't know if I'm putting this video after my build video, or if this is just going to be a video by itself, and then I'll post the build video. I don't know. So I have my transmitter and my unicorn horn up there, the antenna for it. Sure, if I crash, it's probably going to break, but this is an acro. Again, this is a Bugs 3. And we have an adjustable camera. That camera can be adjusted upwards for up pitch. And our antenna is down there, kind of like it was with the original Bugs 3 setup, where it was just put against the body. I do have a blue battery inside there that is powering that, because I like to have separate batteries. We're going to be using an MPOW 3000 milliamp an hour, which I think we can now go up to like a 4000 milliamp an hour battery. I ran a 5200, I think, on a Bugs 3, and it ran for like a half an hour. We are using different propellers, clearly. I'm trying to see, I don't know exactly what size they are. But anyway, we got a little beeper on this as well to the left of my thumb here, there's a beeper in there that I have synced up to the jumper. Without further ado, let's go. So the only issues that I have with this and concerns is the motor screws that originally came with the bugs. I didn't have any other ones to use. They're a little bit iffy. So we might see a motor flop out here. It's very possible. I'm just gonna try to tuck some of these wires down here. That way they don't come out and hit the propellers during flight, which it might. Give me a second, guys. Just gonna kind of put this over here. That should be fine there. And this one we can kind of tuck down in here, where I have the balance connector for the battery that's going to be powering the drone. If it'll fit. I don't know if it'll fit. Should fit. JST connection should fit in there. If a balance plug fits in there, bam's up. So there we go. Now our wires are secured, and then all we have to do is plug in this XT30 connection right here. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe you can't. All that chirping is waiting for it to be bound. And again, that's me setting up a beeper. I have a video on how to do that. So once I go ahead and turn this on, you can see it stopped its shenanigans via trigger. I can then find it if I lose it. So let's just get this up in the air. So punch upwards is minimal. It's very minimal. I might have this weighted down considerably. Punch forward, however, is not, and response left to right doesn't seem to be as well. Like my pitching left to right seems good. But again, this wasn't built to be a burner. This was built to be a long-range FPV cruiser. And it's flying smooth, like extremely smooth. Like I don't got a bunch of wobbles or anything. I'll go ahead and bring it down here. It sounds smooth. Now with that beeper on there, and again, there you go, I'm almost down to the ground. We're gonna have to lessen some weight here. Yeah, I don't have punch up. Like that's my punch up. I just full throttled up. So coming down, I'm going to really have to baby this coming down, unless I lighten the load on this. Or get a different set of props. I don't know. But just bringing this over here, super smooth. Super smooth. I'll go up a little bit, and then we'll kind of go forward. It definitely has thrust forward. It's thrust forward, no issues going thrust forward. You just kind of got to be up if you're going to do that. Just because of the simple fact, we don't have much punch upwards. Could probably use maybe a little bit larger propeller. Definitely could use some weight reduction, I think. Again, the only thing I'm worried about is a motor flop out, because the screws, the heads of the screws were a little bit smaller than I would have liked them to be. And again, the little unicorn horn, I'm full pitched up, it's not going up. I gotta do a little weight reduction, I think, or different motors, I don't know. Not motors, well yeah, different motors would definitely help too, but propellers maybe. Maybe these propellers aren't best suited for this. Weight reduction, I don't think I could. I mean, maybe I could take this blue battery off right now. Because all I have it is taped. I have it taped on here. I don't know if I'll be able to find the end point. If I can find the end point, there it is. I found the end point. Let's see if this does anything out in the field, trial and error. Because I can, my FPV setup, I can sync to the drone itself. I'm trying to get this piece of tape off here. Again, I made this so it wasn't extremely permanent, where I can add and take off pretty easily. So what I'm doing is just going to go ahead and get this piece of tape free. Come on. Lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. There we go. There's the blue battery, which is not connected to anything right now. Generally, what that would be connected to would be the JST connection in the back. So we've taken off itty bitty little blue battery. Let's see if that did anything for our punchability. Anything for our punchability. Get that out of there. Go ahead and it has, like, I'm off throttle and then I'm pressing up. It's actually, yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to wire my FPV, which I would rather not do. It's still heavy though. And this setup can't be much more than original Bugs 3, I wouldn't think, because I'm also not using the base plate to this frame. But this is going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect, and I think without that battery on, it's going to be even more so perfect, because I'm able to climb a lot quicker than I was with that battery on there. Actually control the height versus coming down and dragging down. I still have very minimal punch. Like, I'll come over here and easy. Try to show you the punch. 3, 2, 1. That's my punch. So something's a bit off here. Maybe a more aggressive pitch prop, or maybe a dual prop, just a nice 2-blade dowel prop or something on this would do this better. But again, for what I originally, like, I didn't intend to burn around with this. I would like a little bit more punch. What I originally intended this for is long range cruising. This is going to be perfect for it. It is going to be absolutely perfect for it. And because we are not punching super hard, and I mean, we can punch forward pretty hard, and this thing could really start buzzing around. Like, I have pretty aggressive pitching on this. The battery should last a while, and we should hear chirping from this when the LVC kicks, because when the LVC kicks on the Bugs, I'm holding up. When the LVC kicks on the Bugs, the lights go off, and that's what I have my beeper tied into. So when those lights are going off, my beeper goes off. I got a piece of hair dragging in my face here. Oh, there goes the drone as I'm trying to get this hair out of my face. Like a long hair attached to my hat cam. So far, no motor flop out, and again, I'm full throttle up, and it's just taking a little while. I think the propellers, we need a larger or heavier pitch propeller, I think. It looks good though, looks good. That green on green, like, I got green props with the green camera holder, with the red tips and the red posts. I'm full up. Yeah, something's gonna have to change. I don't know, because these props, easy. These props are considerably smaller than what the original Bugs props were. The original Bugs props might have been a 7-inch, I don't know, off the top of my head, but they just would not fit on here. There's no way they would fit on here. I mean, as long as we are not coming down fast, like, I'm going to try to bring it down over the top of my head, nice and chill. Our altitude control, I guess I should say, is manageable. But if you start getting any rate of speed of this coming down with these propellers and this setup, you're going to have a lag on stop. So I brought that down pretty controlled, and I'm full up. Don't know why it came down. So we got some stuff to work out here. We definitely got some stuff to work out. Could have probably went another inch on these props, and the pitch on these really isn't great at all. Like, it's very minimal pitch. Definitely got some work to do. But this was cool. This is something that I always wanted to do, is kind of just gut bugs and put it on a frame. And again, I'm full up. It's taking a while. It's taking a while. Yeah, we need to gain punch. Anybody have any suggestions down below? Help me out. How am I gonna get better punch off this? I'm using the frame that I'm using. I'll link down below. FPV setup that I'm using, I'll link down below, because the 600 milliwatt and the camera was a complete package that I bought. No motor flop out. That's a good thing. So that was my main worry. Now we just got to get a little bit of performance out of this, and I'll be thoroughly happy. Look at those blades, though. Whatever blades I switch to, I need to have those blades, those iridescent, see-through lime green blades, man. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go up a little bit. Yeah, so this thing, we can fly. It's perfect for a cruiser, man. And I'm full pitched up, and we're gonna land it over there. So we got some improvements to go. My LVC did not kick yet, so we got plenty of power. And I mean, if I can see the voltage. How are you gonna see the voltage? Well, I'm gonna take my battery strap off here, if I can find the end to it. Should be this, right? No. There, it's actually under there. Make things complicated for yourself. I'm gonna try to get this strap off. Bamzo. And as you can see, I do have the LEDs underneath it. You could probably just do without them too, but I thought it looked pretty cool with the LEDs on it. So if I take this off, let's see. Or no, it's in there. Is that lit? Should be lit. Or maybe because I don't have... There we go. So in there, I'm looking at 7.78 volts. 7.7. So it was getting close to the LVC kick, and I don't know what the LVC kicks on this one. And then again, the way that I have this is I just have this right there, and then I just strap it. Guys, I'm J Drone. This was not a super success, but it did fly. Check your motors. None of my motors are wobbling left to right, which would indicate that a screw has came out or loose. So motor mounts are good. We need some better props on this. A little bit longer. We can go a little bit longer. I think a little bit longer, a little bit more pitch will do this good. Again, guys, if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. Questions, comments, concerns down below. Get at me.
Oh, I'm doing a Bugs 3 conversion. Things you will need is a frame, I'll link that down below, and then simple assembly of the arms is where I'm at right now. And then you'll need some Bugs guts. This is some Bugs guts. It's really simple. That's the front, that's the back. There's your XT30 connection, and there's your motors. If you're wary of forgetting what motor's what, I have marked mine just like that. And as you'll be able to see over here, front right, front left, but it's pretty simple. I mean, that's your back end, that's your front end. So we're gonna get that on there, we're gonna get the motors on, and then we'll show you the next step. Alright guys, so this is where we're at. Motors are on. I have the board. I use double-sided foam tape, foam mounting tape, super glue. You can pick up a whole roll of it pre-cut for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Went over the ESC wires. Well, there's the ESC, the wires going from the ESC to the motors. Went over them with a little bit of vinyl tape, and the mounting for the motors was a little bit tricky, just because I don't know if you can see that one bottom, no, upper right actually went through the hole, but it seems to be grabbing the carbon fiber. So we're gonna have to monitor that, because each one has one that kind of slipped past the hole and is basically not above that plate there. So this is basically what it's going to look like. I think I'm going to get something to do a little fill in there. We are going to put an FPV camera here. We are going to put a transmitter on this so we can fly this via FPV. The battery is going to be up here, and the wire will run back in through here through the connection, which I do believe I'm going to stabilize as well. Alright, so I got lots of stuff here, but I think what we're going to go with is this package here. This is essentially going to sit in here. This mounts onto there. That'll mount onto the drone. It'll allow it to be adjustable. We have a 600 milliwatt transmitter right there. If this camera is no good, we will then throw the Mars from FXT on there, because FXT makes good cameras. And then we should be good to go for a little test run. Alright, so just to show you guys, that's the mount setup. I'm probably going to need to adjust it, which will be really simple to do as far as this goes. I have this really tight, but just to show you, you can adjust it. Obviously you want to tighten it once you get it at the position you want to, and clearly a little bit of up pitch is probably what's going to be going on. And I utilized holes on the board here to put the screws in, and those are the stock screws that came with the mount, and they work well with the board. Turn on lights, Banzo. I got all the LEDs installed, and when you fire the motors, the blues go, and Banzo. That's the way I have that set. So if I could toggle on off, or if I leave it on, like say it's just on and I can't find it, 1, 2, 3, it just go into a rapid fire mode, come find me, and that's just the way I have it wired up. If you're interested in that, check out the link up top and down below. Throughout the course of this video, I should have put it up top. If I didn't just do it now, it's definitely down below. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. Questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Get at me. This does hover well. It's dark now. This did take a while to do. So hopefully flight test in the near future.